Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Astros, and I'm here to talk about the Houston Astros officially releasing Jose Abreu. And this has been a very, very long discussed topic. It's something that we all kind of thought could happen, but we've thought that since honestly parts of last season. The discussion of releasing Jose Abreu probably started around July or August of last year and just followed him through the end of the season, through the off season, and all through spring training to now until it's officially official. It's done. Jose Abreu is no longer a Houston Astro. His time here has closed, and I think there is a big camp of the fan base. And this is such a tricky topic for me to discuss. And not me to discuss in terms of how does it affect me, the protagonist of reality. I just feel very conflicted. A lot of people are very happy to see this happen, and a lot of people are very happy to see them move on from the contract. I think moving on from the contract is the correct move. I think it's the right idea. That is a lot of money to a player who simply has not lived up to the contract. And I think that's very true. It feels wrong to celebrate a dude losing his job, which at the end of the day is what this is. It's a guy getting fired. And I just don't love celebrating that fact. And granted, the caveat is the man in question getting fired is a very, very well-off person on account that they play a professional sport for a living. But at the end of the day, it's still the truth. The guy got fired and people are celebrating it as if they won a World Series. And that feels wrong. It also feels wrong to me in the fact that Jose Abreu has been a very bad Astro on the field. And there is no discussing that. Offensively, he's been very, very poor both seasons. In the postseason last season, defensively, he's been poor. There are very few parts to his game that you can point to and say there's a big bright spot. That's not unheard of. A lot of times, teams will sign big-name players to big contracts, and then it falls through. It ends up not working out. It becomes this big to-do. Players end up disgruntled. The organization ends up disgruntled. And the players end up, for lack of a better term, pissy. This isn't what happened with this. And it could have been, because the fan base treated Jose Abreu horribly. And you might say, well, they were warranted to do so. And yeah, they were warranted to point out that he wasn't performing to that price tag, but it got very personal with Jose Abreu in a way that I just never could quite get on board with. And Jose Abreu never gave into it. He never became like what the Mets were back in, I want to say 2021, where they were booing the fans back during slumps. He never gave it to the fans after he'd hit home runs, which he would on seldom occasion. But during those moments back in Minute Maid where he'd have a big moment, which again, there were a few, and he could have, and you could easily debate that he was in the right for it, and he just didn't. He took it on the chin. He acknowledged that he wasn't performing to that contract. And I'm not saying that out of, the thought or the actions. He said it. When he was sent down to work on his stuff in West Palm, he made a statement talking about how he was embarrassed and ashamed of his performance for this team, and that we deserved better as fans. For that reason alone, I can't just sit here and do donuts and wave a flag about as I dance on a man's grave. It did not work out. But this is not a player who went, as soon as the going got tough, just threw up his hands and kicked up his feet. Players on other teams that I'm quite large fans of, you can point to that. The Le'Veon Bell conflict turned into that real quick. The Ryan Fitzpatrick thing somehow turned into that real quick. Tremaine Johnson, that's a name people probably ain't going to remember. Remember when he was a big name St. Louis Ram, not LA, St. Louis Ram, turned jet cornerback? The Jamal Adams saga? I am very accustomed to seeing players turn very sour on an organization and it end very messy. Jose Abreu did not perform the way we expected him to, and the fans turned on him. And you can say rightfully so, and I can't totally disagree with you. But I will give him the utmost credit that he never sunk low, he never gave it back, he never made weird passive-aggressive comments through the media. He took it on the chin, he accepted his shortcomings, and he handled it like a professional. Sadly, it did not work out here, and I wish it would have. And you can tell that he wished it would have. From his comments then to last season when he finally hit that first home run, he wanted it to work here. This isn't a person who came here simply for the paycheck and then stopped trying. You could tell that he gave it everything every time. He just couldn't do it anymore. I hope, truly, that he finds success wherever he ends up, at whatever level that may be. But as for right now, the Astros are going to roll with a first base that probably is going to be a rotation of John Singleton, Mauricio Dubon, and maybe Joey Liperfito. It's going to be interesting to see what they end up doing there. But as for right now, that is all I have to say. There will be a game tonight. The video will most likely be out tomorrow afternoon at some point. But as for right now, that is all I have to say. So if you enjoyed the video, please consider to like and subscribe. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day. And as always, go Astros.